this track.
Yes, bars over bodies where it really ain't a trend. Breaking down all the women in the ring with the pen. At the top of the league, we ain't focused on the men. Hey, we reppin' all the queens with hip hop, watch how it blend. Yeah, it's bars over bodies, it's deeper than what they win. We talking top rope, clothesline, moves all in the air. We talking body slam, suplex, throwing steel chair. Hey, it's lyrics with the legends and the culture, this is rare.
I said Jade should have won. Then I got drugged. Well, catch me outside. Like I'm Tiffy the Thug. I ain't gotta hold a grudge when my black girls get snubbed. Everybody hates, but I'm the women's wrestling plug. I try to stay strong, cause this won't last forever. You really can't see me like Becky told Nikki Bella. I told WWE they don't get to fellas. The men been slacking, women doing much better. What is good, y'all? I am your host, Micah Misfit. And this is Bars Over Bodies, where we combine women's wrestling with hip hop, with the culture, something a little different. And we're focusing on women's wrestling because it's the best thing we got going right now. We are doing better with this division than we ever have before. The hard work over time, years, generations is really paying off. So I'm very excited to get started with this. Now, from the intro of the freestyle, I know y'all know what we're talking about. That is Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton, and we're calling this the double standard exposed. Now, I've made a few videos where I discuss this briefly, but I've never really gone in depth the way I want to today. The reason I want to focus on this particular pairing is because I really think it's synonymous to the culture of America right now and just the standard when it comes to certain differences, I'm going to say it, such as race. There is a level of privilege and opportunities depending on factors like this, and I just want to keep it real. That's the thing about this podcast. I don't want to hold back. I want to be 100% authentic, just to say how it really is. And I do want to also note that this is my opinion, my perspective, but I just want to offer it a little bit today. And one more thing I want to say, when I discuss any of these women, I do acknowledge their talent, their skill, their hard work. This is never an attack on a particular wrestler, but the point is to focus on the systemic issues of it all. The double standards, the unfair criticisms, the way the fans, some fans, not all, but the way some fans treat certain wrestlers. So, with that being said, let's start from the beginning. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill both came to the main roster around the same time. Tiffany Stratton came from the developmental program, NXT. Jade Cargill came from AEW. While they do have a bit of a different background, I do think it's very interesting that they entered the main stage at the same time. Now, when Tiffy time got to the main card, something I do think WWE got right is the way that they had her as a heel coming into it. Now, Jade, on the other hand, if you watched her on AEW, she was an amazing heel. Why WWE decided to bring her in as a face, the world may never know, and I am going to call that the first mistake with Jade Cargill. Now, progressing, who had the title shot first? It was Tiffany Stratton. I will acknowledge that Jade Cargill had the tag team belts with Bianca Belair. I thought that was a good pairing. There is a bit of a criticism when it comes to Jade being paired with Bianca. Some say that it might have brought Bianca down just a tad bit from her singles run superstardom. I think it's okay and it balances out because I do believe that it helped Jade Cargill a really good amount. I mean, let's be honest. That's the best tag team we had in a really long time. It was fantastic. But moving on, Jade had those tag team belts. Tiffy Time was able to get that women's championship belt. Now, this is when there's a bit of a turn, or this is the start of a turn that I want to acknowledge. Now, Tiffy Time, right off the top, fights the Charlotte Flair, debatably the greatest women's wrestler of all time. Now, Tiffy Time, coming into this, was liked enough, but was not on that superstardom level that she got to, and I'm going to say it, after she insulted Charlotte Flair the way she did. I know we all remember that side-by-side promo where Charlotte Flair, let's just be honest, did walk Tiffy Time. Charlotte Flair in that promo displayed veteran status, seasoning, experience. Tiffy Time she was showing that she was new to this, okay? The tide changed, though, whenever she said that horrible insult that I still do not agree with to this day. That was the first start of Tiffany Stratton shooting up to superstardom, and the cherry on top was when they made that decision to have her win at WrestleMania. When this happened, I was happy for Tiffy Time. I liked Tiffy Time. I thought this was a great match. Is one of my favorite Charlotte Flair? Absolutely. But I was still very happy for Tiffy Time. And I saw that the majority of the audience seemed to be very happy as well. Now, when we add in a Jade Cargill, around this time, we know she had come from the injury where she was thrown on the car. There was a very good storyline with Naomi. Jade was being built to be a squasher. Let's just be real. Every time she was squashing Naomi. Did I agree with it being so frequent? Not really. But that's okay because I see what they were trying to do. And of course, the way we saw Naomi's career progress, it really all worked out in the end. Now, with this start, this is where we're going to have a bit of a shift when we move into the summertime. The biggest thing that I feel explodes this entire Tiffy Time versus Jade is SummerSlam. That was the moment when I realized there was a true difference at hand. Tiffy Time was doing well with her run. Undefeated. We will acknowledge that. Jade Cargill, squashing people. Naomi, Asuka, vets. When we get to SummerSlam, I go, okay, this is Jade's moment. Tiffy Time's run was getting a bit stale. I'm going to be honest. Am I going to blame her as a character? No, I'm not. We have to give responsibility to WWE. Why is that? Because she moved from that amazing heel character that we saw into a babyface. Tiffy Time is not a babyface, just like Jade Cargill is not a babyface. Tiffy Time's run became mediocre immediately. We get to SummerSlam, I go, thank God, this is about to end. We'll finally transition to Jade Cargill, who from the start they've made this big star. We see, she's rising to the top. When Jade Cargill lost at SummerSlam, I was floored. But yet when I talked to a few of the fans online, there was a mix of things. But one thing stands out in particular. One gentleman told me, come on, Micah. You know good and well they would never let there be two black champions at the same time. That had me floored. Because as y'all know, Naomi was the champion, of course, because of Evolution. She had cashed in, everything like that. So with Naomi being champion, somebody told me, basically, either Naomi's going to get that belt taken or Jade is going to lose. They can't both be winners. I didn't know that at the time. But when Jade lost, I was so disappointed because I knew at this moment it did not seem that WWE believed in her the way I once thought they did. I thought she was the ticket. I thought she was the prize. That was not the case in that match. And what got me the most was the level of criticism Jade Cargill got from that match when, let's be honest, her and Tiffy Time kind of struggled a bit in that match. There were some mistakes on both of their parts. So I didn't understand why one was being critiqued over the other. And that's when I started reflecting on the entire situation of their pairing, their careers, the trajectory, what was happening. Let's be honest. Does Jade Cargill botch some? Yes, she does. Along with many other wrestlers, right? Tiffy Time, was she botching? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just something to be acknowledged. Does this mean they're bad wrestlers? Absolutely not. But it's something that has to be said out loud. She was botching as well. Now, there were some people saying, well, Jade Cargill wasn't ready for the belt. My argument is, which one of these new girls were ready? What does that even mean? I truly believe that when it comes to the new women, they are giving opportunity. It is only when you have truly proven yourself with the belt that we can call you ready. When you've really put in the time, the work, the years, that's when you're ready. Do you know who was ready for a belt this year? Becky Lynch. You know who was ready for a belt this year? Naomi. That's the way it goes. Even AJ Lee, I would have considered her ready. I mean, she could still get a belt. But what I'm saying is these are people who have proven themselves over the years, even had belts before to show that they were ready. That's the difference. That's the one critique I do not like about Jade Cargill, is that she's not ready. There's no such thing with these new girls. And what that brings me to, and I just have to go here, it seemed that it was a representation of society at that point. I hate to admit something like that, but you have to remember, I'm coming from a place where I'm a newer fan. I came into WWE again from childhood. I hadn't watched WWE since I was probably 10 or 11, possibly 12. When I'm coming in at the end of 2023, I did not know the culture was like this. I did not know there was some type of racial tension between the fans. Now, when I acknowledge this, I want to state this is not everybody. All of the fandom is not like this, but there's a certain side that is. And I saw this when I came on camera for TikTok, and I said Jade Cargill got played when she lost at SummerSlam. The comments I received. It's one thing to disagree with me. We all have opinions. You can think Tiffy Time should have gotten the belt. That's fine. But it was the anger in certain people with me saying this. The remarks I received. The level of racism. It almost felt like some of these people wanted to hurt me. A lot of people even accused me of just cheering for Jade Cargill because she's a black woman, which is insane because growing up, my favorite wrestlers weren't even black. If I'm going to be honest, my 3 favorite wrestlers were, and don't judge me for this, John Cena. Love John Cena. The farewell tour, it's crazy he's about to retire. That's insane. Number 2, The Undertaker. What? 3rd, Batista. I know that's debatable, but we're going to leave it there and we're going to move on from that. My point is, it's not necessarily about skin tone when I like a wrestler. It could be entertainment level. Jade has a crazy physique, aura, star power, and I don't think she's a bad wrestler. I think she's a good wrestler, actually. Does she have room for improvement? Absolutely. Bringing it back, though, I bring all of this up to say there's some weird double standard when you look at them. I'll be honest. To me, Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill are mirror matches. From the start of how they came into this division to the level of certain skills. Let's be real. They could both work on their mic skills. They both could. Have they improved? Absolutely. But the criticism of Jade's mic skills compared to Tiffany Stratton's mic skills, it was insane. The botches. Did we all not see the botches? I saw Tiffany botching those moonsaults. I saw Jade's botches too. It was just crazy to watch the way everything went. Now we are here today. Let's be honest. Not only is Tiffany Stratton's run stale, it's actually getting worse. That belt needs to be taken very fast. Who do I want to take it? Bianca Belair. But where is Bianca? I'm going to be honest. If you're listening, you can't really see it. The odds of my fingernail breaking right before I came on this show is insane. But I bring that up because Bianca's finger's looking like mine. She is out for the count right now. When she's coming back, we never know. Am I willing to have somebody else take that belt from Tiffy Time? Absolutely. At this point, that needs to end. That's another thing. If there's a bad run, WWE takes that belt. Zelina Vega took that belt. Julia took that belt. That is what they do. With Tiffy Time, it's different. There's something about her. where again, it's a double standard. I don't get it. Is she good at wrestling? Yes, she is. Where I saw this displayed again was recently, that triple threat with Nia Jax, Tiffy, and Jade. Tiffy Time did the same botch for the second time. The same botch where she got a concussion the first time. And I saw it again. I acknowledge this because it just shows that there's a level of development that Tiffy Time is still needing. With Jade and Tiffany, I'll be honest, they probably should have started at mid-card. Should they be on main stage? Absolutely. On the main card? Absolutely. But that world title, I think for both of them, that was a bit of a quick push. Why WWE made that decision? I don't know. Maybe the way they look. Maybe there's a connection to the crowd. Their gimmicks were working pretty fine. But they should have been on a mid-card belt. That you can just see it with the way they're trying to still develop certain skills. So when I say they both should have started at mid-card, that is not an insult to either one of them. What I'm saying, let's start with Tiffy first. The way this run is going and how it's not what we maybe were hoping for it to be. I don't know what y'all expected. I thought it would personally be a little better. It shows me that they probably should have started mid-card and let her work her way up. I mean, to start with such a huge title like this, the way the run is going just shows me a lot. The same moves being botched repeatedly, it shows some things. I don't want to sound mean or too critical, but I just want to call it how it is. Why I say this with Jade, that she should have started mid-card. Her level of push was for nothing. Think about it. She has lost to Tiffany every time. Think about that. If this was their plan, because I kept thinking she was going to win eventually. I should have known from SummerSlam she was never going to win. For her to start at such a high title, she's most likely going to go to mid-card. What was the point? We could have started her there and then seen her progress. The way both of these things are going with both ladies, it just shows me there could have been a better way we could have gone about both situations. Now, I promise I am landing the plane because I am going to start to wrap it up here a little bit. I do just want to say, I know this is a more serious topic, and this podcast isn't going to be me just being so serious all the time. But I don't know, I had a feeling that this is something that really should be addressed. And there is a certain tone when discussing something like this. I will say what is truly going to show me what's happening with how they're viewing a Jade Cargill or any newer black woman coming to the main card will be if her face getting busted open by Nia Jax will allow her to go that Becky Lynch route where she became the man. She became a star. And it seemed like Jade took a harder hit than that. If they are positioning her to have a better level of stardom and success on the card based off of this, it'll show me, okay, they're trying to work with a little bit of something here. If it doesn't do anything for her, that tells me everything I need to know. So, moving on, I do want to also acknowledge I do not dislike Tiffany Stratton. I think she's very talented. When I'm criticizing her run, her career so far on the main card, it's really a critique of WWE. I see that they're trying to make the marketing and what would I call it? Maybe the positioning, the way the matches go based off of society. It's a bit reflective, actually, of the society. So I don't blame Tiffany Stratton for this. She's just playing the role. She's doing exactly what they tell her to do. My biggest thing is, and why I have to bring attention to this, is because how do we create any level of change without acknowledging the issue first? That's why I bring this up the way I do. The plane has landed, finally, now. Last thing I want to say, I was very nervous to do an episode like this. I did not want it to negatively affect me in any way, especially with the goals I have with the podcast, with discussing wrestling, because I really do love this world. There's just certain things that need to be criticized, and I get scared of what this will mean if I'll alienate certain crowds or potential people who like me or maybe like the music. There's a lot of factors that make me nervous. But there's something that did tell me to just be honest about this, that there's no reason to sugarcoat it or try to please people, try to people please. I just really want to talk about honest things in the culture and just offer a perspective that maybe not everybody is willing to give or might be scared of the repercussions. I just want to keep it real with the audience and discuss what really needs to be talked about. Now, will every episode be this serious? No. There will be more cultural references with hip hop. There will be just more lightheartedness with certain things. Now, certain episodes are going to be a bit more serious when I deem it necessary. But if you did make it to the end of this episode, I am very appreciative, very grateful. If you did like what you heard, or if you want to see what I have in store next episode, please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube, Micah Misfit. Subscribe to my social media, TikTok at Micah Misfit 8, Instagram at Micah Misfit. I want to continue to spread just my love of wrestling, discussion of topics that I hope y'all wanted to hear too. Oh, and lastly, please subscribe on whatever streaming service you're on, whether that be Spotify, Apple Music, whatever way you listen to your podcast. But yes, this is Bars Over Bodies, where women's wrestling meets hip hop and real talk about the culture. I'll see y'all next time.
Ain't been in it for a minute, but I'm back now. Steady seeing haters who just questioning my background. I only speak facts, I ain't got nothing to tap out. It's like I'm in a figure 8 and I don't ever tap out. Had to do a show, really breaking down the women. They done came a long way, I seen it from the beginning. The Elise go hard, you can't doubt that they winning. Making legends, yeah, it's second that we carry the division.